Hello, today we're going to be making some edible sugar paste roses. You'll need modelling paste, which you can put food colouring in. I've got pink today. You'll need a modelling tool. You'll need a rose cutter. These come in lots of different sizes. Quite deceiving because you'll think you've got a small rose with this, but once you've started making your rose you'll realise it does make quite a large rose. You need a rolling pin, some edible glue, some wires to put your roses on, and a bit of icing sugar to stop it sticking to the base. So first of all we need to make the centre of the rose, which is just a piece of wire with a small piece of icing, which I'll show you how to do. First of all you need to get your wire, and you need to just put a tiny hook in the end. You can do it by hand. Just a small hook like this. Take a piece of modelling paste, doesn't matter which colour you use because you won't see it. About the size of a Malteser, just a bit smaller. And once it's in a round ball we need to cone shape it. So just run it one end so you have a cone shape like this. Dip the end of the wire into the glue and then push the wire into the centre, and that will be the start of your rose. And then just put it aside, let it dry, and then once it's dry it will look exactly the same, but you have a nice firm base now to start making your rose. So I have two different shades of pink. If you make your first layer of petals around your cone just a shade darker, it will give it a more natural look. Put some icing sugar on your board, because we need to be rolling the icing out very thin. Take the rolling pin, make sure it doesn't stick. It's because you're rolling it out thin, it does really stick to the board. Okay, now your icing's thin that I've made. Okay, we now get our cone that we've allowed to dry overnight, and we push the stem right in the very centre of your icing petal. Push the wire down until the cone touches the petals like this. You take your cutter, push hard, pull the icing away from it, turn it over, just make sure that the edges are nice and neat. Take your ball tool, just push it out lightly. And now with your ball tool we're going to make the petals very thin and lifelike. Now you can either do it on the board in your hand, or you can buy a foam board, which I do recommend They're only about £3.50, so it's well worth it. Take your petal, turn it upside down, and then we start just going around in circle movements in the middle of each petal. And you can already see that your petals are getting larger. Now we just go round the edges of each petal, half on the petal and half on the foam board. And you can now see how much bigger your petals are going to be compared to the cutter. I actually went out and bought a larger cutter thinking that it wasn't going to be big enough. And this is, believe it or not, this is only the 5th rose. So there we have your cone and the petals. Now with your glue, I always find it easier to use a small paintbrush. Glue one of the petals right the way over the petal, and then we're going to wrap this first petal right the way round your centre cone. And now you can see that we can't see the centre of the cone that you made. We're going to turn it round, we're going to miss one petal, and then we're going to do the same again with the next one to that. Glue the whole thing over. Bring that up. And wrap that one around as well. Now you can see the whole of your cone now is completely covered. Now we miss one and we go to the next petal, and we're just going to glue one side of the petal. I'm going to bring that up and just stick that side to your cone shape in the middle. Turn it round. We're going to leave that like that because the next petal we're going to do the same. Glue just the one side, and we're going to bring it up and just stick that inside the petal that you just stuck down. I'm going to turn it round, and we're going to do exactly the same to the next one. We're just going to push these in slightly. And there you have your basic rosebud. Now you can either put another one layer of petals on it or another two, depending on the size of the rose. So we put that to side. You need to let that dry for a while. It really doesn't take very long.